speaking of the draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback situation is currently uncertain as they await a decision from Aaron Rodgers regarding his future. With the draft just 3 days away, Pittsburgh could make a move for a QB with that 21st pick. The Steelers' current QB room consists of Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson. I can't wait to ask Snoop Dogg on Wednesday how he feels about his Steelers and who they should pick. But right now, I'll ask my quarterback, Dan. Dan, how should Pittsburgh deal with the quarterback situation in this draft?
They have to be aggressive and be urgent. Is there a worse quarterback room and situation in the NFL than Pittsburgh's?
No.
Right?
No.
But Cleveland's the only one that comes to mind. At least they have the second pick. I don't think they'll take quarterback at 2, but at least they do. And this is not any shade to Mason Rudolph, one of the better backups in the NFL. He's had an outstanding career, good player. But when you're talking about Pittsburgh and you're looking at their schedule next year, the only team on the schedule that they're even remotely close to head-to-head, like quarterback being even, is the Browns. And that's because we really don't know who their starter is going to be. And you're sitting there if you're the Steelers, and Cam Hayward's 36 this year, TJ Watt's 31 this year, Minkah Fitzpatrick turns 29. You don't have a year to waste. And you're going, oh, well, what are they going to do? And the name that I've become at least a little bit more comfortable with entertaining is Milroe at 21 for the Steelers, just because the likelihood of who's going to be available. And I go to Jalen Milroe because Arthur Smith, who's the offensive coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers, was attached to Justin Fields when he was the head coach at the Falcons. And then obviously had Justin Fields last year. And by reports, not my reporting, but other people's, saying that he's the one who wanted to keep Justin Fields as the starter and not Russell Wilson. And so the athletic profile, the ability to have Pickens and DK Metcalf on the outside. And I know, Milroe's not perfect. He's a flawed prospect. But this guy put 500 yards on Kirby Smart last year. That's the most in like 10 years versus Kirby Smart in Georgia. And so with the athletic elements that he brings and how dynamic he's with the ball and his ability to throw the ball downfield, Milroe becomes a little bit more of an entertaining throw at 21.
Interesting. Stephen A., Dan thinks potentially Milroe. Where are you on your Steelers? What do you want them to do in this quarterback situation in the draft?
Shedeur Sanders, Milroe, Dart. I don't give a damn. I want Shedeur Sanders, but you got to get a quarterback. Ladies and gentlemen, the Pittsburgh Steelers went out and acquired DK Metcalf, who is an absolute stud, to pair with George Pickens, who has stud-like tendencies whenever he wants to, because he's got those kind of skills. You got Freiermuth at the tight end spot, although Najee Harris is going to by way of the Chargers. Number one, having nearly got knocked upside his head with his own helmet by Myles Garrett. That's number one. And number two, he was in Tennessee and couldn't play ahead of Mr. Mayonnaise himself, Will Levis. That's it. And I'm supposed to be excited about that if I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan? Come on, y'all. I need some help, Shay Shay. I need some help, D.O. We can't have this. You can't have DK and Pickens and Freiermuth and an improved offensive line, and you giving us Mason Rudolph or Skylar.
All right, let's hear from the objective party. That would be Shannon.
From the soap operas. I'm telling you right now, I might ask them to change my name from Brick to Skylar for crying out loud, because it's suitable for soap operas.
Skylar makes me think of other things, Stephen A.
I need some help. Help me out, Shannon.
Where
please.
are you on this?
I agree with both of you guys. They need a quarterback. But Steelers did this to themselves because they let Ben Roethlisberger die on the vine before they took a quarterback. You look at Kansas City. They had a Pro Bowl quarterback in Alex Smith, and they drafted a quarterback. You look at Coach Belichick, what he did when he had Tom Brady. They drafted a quarterback. Even the Broncos, when they had Peyton Manning, they took quarterbacks because they saw this on the horizon. Only the Steelers thought Ben Roethlisberger, with his style of play early on, was going to play 23 seasons like a Tom Brady. They failed, and I believe they had a quarterback in Justin Fields. And you know what? Mike Tomlin wanted to go Russ because he felt Russ with his veteran leadership, yada, yada, yada. Now he really doesn't have any. Now he doesn't have Mason Rudolph. You had Mason Rudolph before. If Mason Rudolph was what the Steelers thought he was or what he's going to be, he would have never went to Tennessee. He didn't get drafted by Tennessee. He got drafted by the Steelers. And they thought so little of him, D.O., they let him go to Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for me, I agree with everything that you said. This defense is starting to get a little older. They do have wide receivers, but you never know now. Hey, one of them don't catch a pass or things go their way. They known to crash out on you, Stephen A. I hope that's not the case this year because they do have 2 stud wide receivers that can break the game open. But you need a quarterback. They need a quarterback in the worst way. And they waited far too long in order to get one. They should have, as Ben started to wear down, they should have got them a quarterback. And then he learned a year or 2 up under Ben, then he could just move right in.
So the Rodgers part of this is like interesting as well, because everything that it sounded like with this time with McAfee last week, it didn't sound like a guy that's decision has been made. But I'm wondering, is he waiting to see the first round happen or the second round happen to make sure that the Steelers don't draft a quarterback early? And so then he's going to be their guy if that's the case? Because I still sit there, I go, there's no way that they're just waiting. And we're in May almost. And they're just waiting. And Aaron's like, I don't know. I might retire. It's on the table still. And so that's like, is he making sure that he doesn't get Kirk Cousins, so to speak, with what happened with the Falcons last year? And the other thing is this, and Stephen A., you know it, is there a part organizationally with the Steelers that they've had to watch what Baltimore has done with Lamar, and they've had to go against them twice a year and be like, we want our Lamar. Like, we want a guy that is going to drive everybody else nuts like Lamar has driven us nuts for years. And so the development
that person doesn't exist in this draft? That person doesn't exist in that draft. I mean, Justin Fields was closer to that than anybody that we've heard about that could be available for the Steelers.
No, but by all accounts, but I go back to it. By all reports, the offensive coordinator wanted Justin more last year, if that's true or not. And again, they tried to re-sign Justin. He just gave him enough money. And so while we may not know that there's not a Lamar Jackson, Lamar, when he was selected, wasn't what he's become either.
Shannon, why do you say no?
No, because you wanted Justin Fields after the fact. The man pride was damaged. He had won 4 games, D.O., and then he comes back and he's playing well. He has you in first place, and you bench him? And you want me to come back to this? Nah, let me go somebody where they embrace me. I'm their starter. I'm entrenched, and I can move forward. Nah, you don't get to do that. What Mike Tomlin, if D.O., what you saying is true, what Mike Tomlin did, I'm gone too.
But no. But Shannon, I got you. I completely agree with you there. But here's the question, though. You also said you're not touching Aaron Rodgers, and I'm saying, looking at my quarterback. Listen, I got a question.
Have no choice.
Looking at my quarterback room, what possible choice do I have, Shannon, if I got Mason Rudolph and Skylar Thompson?
Yeah, they're in a bad place.
What's my choice?
But he said, D.O., why do you think the Jets moved on? Well, I haven't decided retirement is a possibility. You mean to tell me I want to hire a guy with retirement is still a possibility?
Hold on. Put me on screen for 1 second. This just got good. Shannon, I want you to be able to expound upon this. Let's get in a quick commercial break and bring it back and come back to this subject of Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers.
I don't understand Shannon on this one.
Also this, John Cena made...
Đừng nói bậy nha. Chào tất cả mọi người đã quay trở lại. Tôi có một video rất là là vòng tay hôm nay